Hey there. Oh my gosh, this has taken some setup. It's taken some setup, but it is done. Uh, I am Kaya, and I am here to talk my opinions, my opinions on what we now call chaotic monologues. The views will be based on political science, rooted in anarchism, of course, which means self-governance, and also delegitimizing these tiers of power and rule from above. We do not have power from the ground up in this country. I'll tell you that for sure. So any kind of democracy will not work as long as people have no control. And the lack of control over our lives is the realest thing, here. We are not secure. But there are a few particular issues I wanted to talk about. Written them down, I'm prepared for once. We are talking about patriotism, for one. That was the first thing I wanted to talk about. Patriotism and this idea of what patriotism actually is, and trying to figure out patriotism as seen from the South African perspective, because South Africans have been throwing the word around lately. They've been throwing the word around a lot recently. And I'm wondering what a South African is patriotic to. That's what's been getting me. Quite particularly, the word has been popping up with Operation Dudula. Operation Dudula. I will put it for you right here in the chat so you can spell it if you are not South African. Operation Dudula is a program that was set up by the South African government in order to, it's like a homeland security project, in order to kick out and keep our borders secure, kick out foreigners and keep our borders secure, is how they put it. It's all about border security and keeping our national resources secure and safe. But our national resources have never been safe. They've never been safe from the politicians. They've never been safe from the people who are wealthy and have access to these resources. We've been looted for every element under the earth ever since, and I can't tell you of a town that is wealthy from gold exploitation. There's not one town that's actually rich looking like a gold mining town. Instead, they're shacks, they're destroyed, they're ugly places. The places that actually are gold mining towns. Coal mining towns, it's exactly the same. You know them, you've seen them all over the world. Oil mining towns, but we don't have oil here in South Africa. It's not the biggest thing. Offshore, though, they do look into it. And another thing about this Operation Dudula patriotism that's been going around. I'm wondering what inspired average South Africans, the people on the ground, to join in a project that is clearly not Pan-African. And one of our presidents, President Thabo Mbeki, he was a Pan-Africanist, very much about building these linkages between Africa, and he failed Mugabe. He failed Robert Mugabe in his time of need, sadly. But he was a Pan-Africanist, and the idea was that we build links with other African countries up close here, things like not needing a lot of paperwork, passport to travel, just having an ID from your country should be enough. Things like that, making travel between Lesotho, Lesotho, Zimbabwe, Botswana, Swaziland, Mozambique, all of these nearby southern African countries, making the SADC region easier to travel. Basically, that was one of Thabo Mbeki's biggest projects, and I liked that. But South Africans have been isolated many South Africans, this is part of our colonial history. We've been isolated. We've been isolated to such an extent that we think that even Southern Africans are foreign. Uh, Look, every country has something to say about Nigerians. Every country all over the world has something to say about Nigerians. Why? Because they have a large population, they travel, they get around the world a lot, and they are influential, very hustle minded, and well, their education is strong. The ones who are intelligent are very intelligent, and even the politically corrupt ones tend to be very elite at political corruption. South Africa is a baby. South Africa is a baby. We're young, only 27 years into liberation, as it were. And we think that Africans are foreigners and we treat them as such because, well, we have been so disenfranchised by our own government that we actually have no access to our own resources. Hospitals suck. Basic resources, hospitals, water, electricity, all the basic things that you would give the responsibility to a government to manage. You'd think that a good government will manage you well so your country can then manage itself. People can live their lives, go to work, run their businesses, afford petroleum, afford electricity, power, things like that. But South Africa has not given its people that. It's been a government of ineptitude, in fact. Utterly, utterly, utterly inept. So, in this time, I've been looking at what the hell are these patriots patriotic to? What are they patriotic to? What do they want to protect? And a lot of them are angry too. A lot of them are angry. They say, yes, we've been disenfranchised by our government. So let's kick these foreigners out so that we can fix our internal problems. But there's no fixing your internal problems. South Africans have had the access and the ability to sort out their internal problems, but they haven't sorted out their internal problems. So we're going to play the blame game. We're going to make it a them problem, right? Them. They are the ones who are actually constricting and restricting our progress. They are the ones who are actually stealing our resources, our water, our jobs, the usual, right? Isn't this usual othering and making the other evil so that you can do whatever you want to the other to make your life even a little bit better? This othering that is so dangerous in Southern Africa is now under the guise of patriotism. We've seen what patriotism does, right? Patriot Act, yeah, United States of A from 2001 and up. They started running that Patriots rhetoric, didn't they? I mean, George W. Bush, who would have thunk that an idiot crackhead could have been a president? But America did it and landed themselves in another war because, well, let's put that aside. Another interesting project run by our government was something called the Inner City Clean Sweep. The Inner City Clean Sweep was attacking ground roots market sellers, people who worked at markets from Joburg. I remember it happening in Joburg 2013 and in KwaZulu in 2013. This operation Inner City Clean Sweep. The Inner City Clean Sweep. I was on my way to work. And it was just one of those days. Again, I'm tired, it's middle of the week, and I just want to get to work, write some copy, and leave. I get to the market where all the taxis assemble. It's called a rank in South Africa. They rank there. So all the taxis rank there. And I'm going to Pinetown Rank, going to go find my right taxi. And I noticed that market stalls are empty. I mean, it's 7 in the morning. They should be full, right? People should be packing in, not out. But no, at 7 in the morning, police are out throwing things into black plastic bin bags. People stole goods. Fruits, veggies, shoes, whatever it is that they're selling at those tables. They were throwing that in, and this was like squads of police, squads, just like attacking each table, asking you for your license. A license at an informal market. They are going and asking people for licenses. It's like going up to a 10-year-old and asking him, hey, show me your certificate, show me your license, show me your birth certificate. Like, you can't do that. They're not. They don't have access to such things. They also have no need for such things, because why does an informal market dealer, someone who makes probably 100 Rand, even 200 Rand a day at most, going to pay you more than that to get a license to sell what they sell? Didn't make sense. So I wrote about it. I wrote about it at the blog, and I will give you the link to the blog right now. It's thechaoticfront.wordpress.com. But here it is in the chat. thechaoticfront.wordpress.com. And it was serious, man. This inner city clean sweep. I wrote 2 articles about it because I couldn't believe what was going on. I couldn't believe it. I was looking at black police who probably buy things from that market every single day, who probably have friends and family who take taxis from that market, who buy things from these stalls every single day, were now attacking this market, all from an order. They got an order from a higher up to go get them, boys, show them that we are in charge. And I don't see why it had to happen. This was around about 2013, and they tried to make a comeback of that project. They really did. So we attack our people inside. We attack people from outside. Borders. This whole idea of borders really makes me sick. But let's put that as an issue on the side for now. But people from outside, we harass those too. We harass people inside, and then we tell these people that no, your problems inside are from the people outside. They're not from us. I also don't get how there has not been a police revolt so far in South Africa, where the police just say, we won't do this oppressive shit anymore. Hasn't popped up. Noticing I gotta sort out the lighting for this thing, but hey, it is our first stream. Things will happen. So there's this interesting paper. As I close, there's this interesting paper I read and listened to about uprising compared to unrest. Now, unrest is it's a class thing, isn't it? It depends on which part of the tier you are in or you are on to say that this is unrest or this is uprising. It's positional. I'm at the bottom, so I have to rise up to get to a level of economic stability or quality of life that best fits me and my family and my friends. It is unrest if I am being disturbed. My quality of life is now being disturbed by an uprising or some kind of insurrection of sorts, right? This is what they were saying during the time of what they called the Zuma uprising, the Zuma unrest, the Zuma riots. Nothing to do with Zuma. There was peripheral evidence to say that this is about Zuma. A lot of people were doing it for their own reasons and for their own dissatisfaction. Hectic unemployment, job loss, job restrictions, hard lockdown at the time as well. But what I found really interesting in this paper by Mputlane wa Bofelo, Putlane Wabufelo is one of the greatest intellectuals in Azania, what they call South Africa. We call it captured Azania because, well, get you some black consciousness education and you will know why we call it captured Azania. Putlane Wabufelo, this is how we spell his name. Putlane Wabufelo is one of the greatest black intellectuals of our time. And he was the one talking about this thing of unrest versus uprising, right? Because it does depend on where you are in the class structure. And so class privileges are threatened of certain black people. So they want to protect the status quo. Your class privilege is threatened and you want to protect it. We get that a lot. So what it is to you is it is an unrest. It is an unrest because they are moving you from your position of rest and privilege. It's an interesting topic and we will talk about it soon, but I was just trying to get us acclimatized and figure out what we'll be talking about in future episodes of Chaotic Monologues. I'm Kaya and I work for the Chaotic Front blog. We make anarchism a reality in this country and our work has been happening for a very long time and will continue to happen. Hey, next year it will be 10 years since the Chaotic Front blog began. So do look forward to more streams and more public activations for Chaotic Front as we go forward. Check me out at Twitter. I will have links for things for people to click, links and things. Where are we? Here we are. Just typing out my Twitter handle so you can find me and my links and things. We will have a link tree added there. So check me out on Twitter. It's at WeTheBeing. And for now, I will sign out. Have a great day. And remember, resistance is fertile.